This is Zimbrick Honda's PrepMania Weekly. Alongside the Dean of Area High School Sports, Dennis Semro, here's Hunter Vaughn.
This is Zimbrick Honda's PrepMania Weekly, and I am Hunter Vaughn. With me, the Hall of Famer, the one, the only, the Dean of Area High School Sports, Dennis Semro. And Dennis, I'm incredibly excited for this show tonight. We're going to have Steve Collins, the head coach of Vel Phillips Memorial, join us, the head coach of the boys basketball team over there at Memorial, coming up at 6:30 this evening. Going to talk to him about the huge matchup that they have with Verona coming up, the only team that's beaten the Spartans this year. So we're going to have that game on our Tuesday night hoops tomorrow night. So we'll talk to Steve about that, as well as the fact that he got to career win number 500 earlier this year. So we'll have that conversation with him. And we might have some other conversations about just the current state of basketball and things like that. Because for those of you that haven't ever had the chance to maybe talk to Steve Collins, he has a lot of thoughts on the state of basketball and ways to change it. So Dennis and I always love having that conversation with him.
He's not shy.
No, he's not at all. So it's going to be great. If you tuned in at all over the last few years to any of our state basketball coverage, Steve has joined us for those, even though he'd much rather be playing or coaching down on the floor at the Kohl Center, which he's done numerous times as well. But we're going to be talking to Steve coming up a little bit later on.
He's a Hall of Famer, inducted in 2022. Yep. I was there for that one. That was very well-deserved and long overdue.
Yeah. One of the great coaches, I think one of the best coaches in the entire state of Wisconsin, Steve Collins, joining us at 6:30. We'll also have our Pizza Hut Power Rankings, a new version of that, and some teams that have definitely made some moves and some teams that I think surprised us with the fact that they stayed put, in particular on the boys' side, a team that's just a little bit north of us with Beaver Dam losing their number 2 scorer of the year, Parker Blank, to a foot injury. He's done for the year, and they just went out and blew out Wanakee this past week. So, after I came on the show and was like, yeah, they're going to have a really tough time. It's going to be really interesting to see if they can rebound from that, maybe get through the season. They'll have a lower seed than what they maybe were thinking that they would, and then they'll have to try and make their way through the season that way. And then they're just like, Hunter, you need to just shut up. You don't know what you're talking about. And they go out and blow out a really, really good Wanakee team. So,
well, it's still when you lose a guy averaging 14.5 points a game, and he was averaging 4 assists and 4 rebounds, and he's a stud in football, so he brings that physicality over.
Yeah.
So, as they say, next man in, but you got to have a next man, and I think it's going to be rotating guys. But again, you got Salato, their senior, averaging 21.5. Just an outstanding shooter. I got to see them at the Wisconsin Basketball Yearbook over in Mequon at Concordia College, and I talked to the coach afterwards, and I said, Coach, I love your team. They know their roles, and they're relentless. And then when you got your son on the team, you got that extra connection because he's coached those kids since they were yay hider and grasshoppers.
Well, I mean, we saw that on the football side with Lodi a couple of years back. You and I did the Division IV championship, and their head coach Dave Poles, his son Brady was the running back on the team, and they talked about it. He's like, this is like my sons are all on this team. Like literally his own son was, but then they were always over at the house. Like he just knew those guys so well. So it just means a little bit more when you have your own kid on the team.
Yeah, I always tell people that they sweat the little things. You shouldn't. There's nothing better than watching your kid do something they love with their friends. And then when you are actually coaching them, I think that's the best because I remember the one summer my daughter was playing for another team and I wasn't coaching her. And it was torture, just sitting on my hands. I didn't need to be out there even though I had other coaches and it wasn't a lot of direct stuff. And she told her brother, yeah, Dad's coaching other kids too, not just me. But things, a little jealousy there. But, it's something special, the connection, because you talk to a lot of coaches that have senior sons, senior daughters, and when do they start out? Like, for baseball, softball, it's t-ball. Basketball, it's 3-on-3. You start that. Yep. It used to be third grade was 3-on-3. I think it's kindergarten now.
Yeah.
Because you get some of these kids playing tournaments at first and second grade, and you get some kids that are way good. But again, I really like you said, this Beaver Dam team is one to keep an eye on down the stretch.
Yeah, they absolutely are. Even without having Parker Blank, they're still a really good team.
And by the way, the girls are also very good, too.
Oh, yeah. I feel like because it feels like they're almost getting a little overshadowed because the boys will have some really good seasons and they kind of take a little bit of a dip from time to time. That's just the way that program kind of has been for Beaver Dam, where the girls have just been consistently good for so long that it's almost like you take it for granted a little bit, where you're just like, oh, yeah, we expect them to be great. Another team that we expect to be great every year is Edgewood.
Edgewood girls.
And that's one of the things I wanted to talk about here tonight in this first segment, where we kind of look back typically at the week that was and something that came up, and this is the first time that the WIAA is doing this for the boys and the girls. They are doing a mid-season seeding report. So you can check this out if you go over to the WIAA website under the girls basketball tournament section. They give, if the season ended, where everyone would be seated within their sectional. And one of the sectionals that really stood out to me, Dennis, it's not that it's the most competitive sectional, and that's why it stands out. And it's in the Division II sectional, Division II, the sectional 2. That is where Edgewood is playing. Edgewood girls basketball, fantastic program. Coach Stavs, again, one of the best coaches in the entire state. It's an absolute machine over there at Edgewood. They're listed at right now as the 1 seed. The Milton Redhawks are the 2 seed in that one. And no disrespect to Milton, I feel like if you're an Edgewood fan, start looking at hotels up in Green Bay. Like this just feels like a weak sectional, because I just don't know who's going to really challenge them. I mean, maybe Elkhorn does from the other side because they split that 2A, 2B. So Elkhorn from the Milwaukee area, maybe for that sectional championship. But, like, is there somebody I'm missing in this that you're like, you know what, they're playing really good ball right now. If they keep this up, they could really challenge Edgewood?
Milton has got to be the team. And McFarland. I've seen McFarland play. The young team. They had a couple of seniors that came out, the older Charbonneau, and now her sister Allison, the freshman, she's up for the Go Bound Player of the Week. Just watching them against Mount Horeb, they have got a lot of growth. And it's not how you start, it's how you finish. And a little bit of confidence, I think, can go a long way. And when you look at what the McFarland girls are doing, they're on a 4-game win streak. They 7-3 in the conference now, tied with Mount Horeb and with Sauk Prairie. That's a little logjam there at second, but they're all 3 games behind Edgewood, so there's no doubt who's going to win the conference. Edgewood's not going to stumble 3 times. But when it gets into the playoffs, all you need is a flu bug, one bad shooting night. Mm-hmm. You just never know. But Edgewood has the 2 best players right now in Beanie Thompson and Anna Miller.
Yeah.
And then we saw last week what happens when some other kids contribute off the bench. But was it Macy?
Yeah, Macy Faust hit some threes in the second half that really extended that lead.
Yeah, we named her our player of the game because she kind of gave him a little spark there. And then Juju Thompson, Beanie's little sister. Again, it's fun to watch because they really put a lot of pressure on teams. They shoot the 3, sometimes too many. They went 1 for 10 in the first half and then 8 for 10. They were shooting layups from 3-point range is what it felt like. So, you got to like that. Again, Coach Stav has got them tested. They're 14-4. And you go, well, 4 losses. They started out 1-3 against really good competition. Yeah. And again, bringing Beanie and Anna back, you still lost a great senior class from last year. They helped get them a state title, and then got to triple overtime in the state finals. So every year, you get that chemistry going, and right now Edgewood's on a roll.
And this is Zimbrick Honda's PrepMania Weekly. Zimbrick Honda has been a part of the Madison community since 1973. Their customer service is second to none, and you can experience it for yourself at 2 convenient Madison service locations, one on Fish Hatchery Road and the other on Grand Canyon Drive. From simple maintenance to expert repairs, Honda certified technicians handle it all. Need new tires? At Zimbrick Honda, buy 3 tires and get the 4th for how much, Dennis?
$1.
That's right, just $1. Shop local, shop Zimbrick Honda. Our producer, Owen Dimful, this was a sectional that you were interested in here with this Edgewood girls basketball sectional. Is there a team that you think could maybe challenge Edgewood? I know you've seen them here with being the producer on these broadcasts too. Like, is there anybody that you think I'm missing?
Edgewood, I mean, like you said they should go all the way to Green Bay to the Resch Center for to represent Division I in their sectional. But I think Milton presents a really interesting case because the beginning of the year, very up and down, some good wins, some bad losses, but then they flip the calendar over to 2026 and they haven't lost yet. So, and it's not just wins by a couple points, single digits. A lot of these are 20 to 30-point blowouts other than the 2-point win that they had over Beaver Dam, a really good team. So I think Milton presents a interesting case when we get to the playoffs, but they got a big game coming up against Waunakee, and I think that will be a big tell for what this 7-game stretch has been for the Redhawks.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like, Waunakee beat them at Milton 81-55 just before Christmas earlier in the year, but like Owen said, like, something flipped when the calendar flipped to 2026. I think if Milton can keep this to a competitive game even, I don't think they have to necessarily beat Waunakee. If they're competitive with the Warriors, then that's going to spell a really good sectional semifinal that we would get between Edgewood and Milton on that girls' side.
Yeah, and then the other side, you got Elkhorn. And it's always when you kind of the unknown because you haven't seen those teams throughout the season. But, hey, again, you want to be the hot team coming down, and when you got 1 2-point win, but you're beating everybody by 25, 30, 35, hopefully they're playing a lot of players in that, so you're getting a lot of kids some experience. But then again, as we're getting down toward the stretch here, the benches are going to go down to 7 or 8. We saw that with the Badgers the other day. The guys that played 7, basically. It was like, whoa. You used to see teams play 10, 11, 12, but it's a little tougher to get playing time here now when you're trying to get ready for a tournament run.
Yeah, absolutely. And it too, there's a level of like, okay, are you being almost a little mean if you're keeping your starters in, so you get that kind of that mind game you have to play as a coach of like, okay, how far do I keep my starters in once you're blowing somebody out? Coming up again a little bit later on, we're going to be joined by the head coach of the Vel Phillips Memorial Spartans, Steve Collins. We've got our Pizza Hut Power Rankings coming up next, as this is Zimbrick Honda's PrepMania Weekly. We're also brought to you by Midwest Financial Group, and the lineup at Midwest Financial Group consists of coaches for your financial world, organizing the players on your personal team. Behind every great team is a great coach. Let the Midwest Financial Group be yours for your financial planning needs. Head to mfgteam.com to get started today. Advisory services offered through Commonwealth Financial Network, a registered investment advisor. Our Pizza Hut Power Rankings coming up next here on Zimbrick Honda's PrepMania Weekly.
You're listening to Zimbrick Honda's PrepMania Weekly, breaking down more from this week in area high school sports next on 100.5 ESPN, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and the ESPN Madison YouTube channel.
Looking to take your baseball game to the next level? GRB Academy provides year-round training programs designed around your schedule and your goals. For over 15 years, GRB has been Wisconsin's leader in player development and advancement, with a state-of-the-art 52,000 square foot facility of elite baseball training space and coaches who know how to get results. From youth to high school, baseball players trust GRB to help them reach their next level. Training program spots are filling quickly, so don't wait. Register now at grbacademy.com.
At Hooper Service, your comfort is important. From keeping you cozy warm to comfy cool with the ultra-quiet, energy-efficient Carrier Infinity Home Comfort System. Plus, join our Home Comfort Priority Plan and keep your air conditioner and furnace running at peak performance year after year. Enjoy priority service and extra savings that really add up. Hooper is here with 24-hour heating, cooling, plumbing, and fire protection service for your home and business. Turn to the experts, Carrier and Hooper.
Mark Tauscher here for Pizza Hut. I've been telling you for a while now how much I've loved Pizza Hut since I was a kid, and I love making new memories enjoying it with my family today. Looking for an easy win for lunch or dinner? Pizza Hut's My Hut Box lets you choose your entree. A personal pan pizza, a melt, or now, wings. Boneless or traditional wings start at just $6.99. One box, tons of options, all day, every day. Order on the Pizza Hut app or at pizzahut.com. Pizza Hut, feed good times, and remember, no one out-pizzas the Hut.
Experience the future of recovery at Carbon World Health. They've brought Escape Robotic Massage to Madison, the world's first AI-powered, fully automated therapeutic massage that's customized to your body every time. Jim, Matt, and Molly will be live at Carbon World Health this Friday, and you can join us. Every person that stops by Carbon between 4 p.m. and 6 p.m. on Friday gets a voucher for a free 30-minute AI massage at Carbon World Health. So stop by this Friday from 4 until 6. Carbon World Health, your body optimized.
Listen up, you guys. If you haven't been giving your significant other chocolates from Gail Ambrosia's Chocolatier, then you've been doing it all wrong. Your wife or girlfriend will love the handcrafted unique chocolates created right here in Madison. Stop by their store on Atwood and enjoy the ultimate chocolate experience today. Once you taste the difference that locally owned and made chocolates provides, you'll never go back to buying a mass-produced box of chocolate ever again. Show her you care by getting a box of chocolate from Gail Ambrosia's Chocolatier on Atwood.
Everyone plays like a champion at TPC Wisconsin. Our friendly community shares one thing: a passion for world-class golf. Women, men, and youth golfers all love the course. The $25 million upgrade is impeccable, and the list of amenities is more than impressive. But belonging where the shared pursuit of excellence is a daily practice and not just a tagline? That might be the best part. Join today and pay no dues until April 1st. Discover belonging. TPCWisconsin.com.
Want to move better, play faster, and compete at a higher level? Train where Wisconsin's top athletes go. Total Athlete Performance. From middle school phenoms to the pros, TAP is Madison's #1 destination for speed, power, and athleticism. Their proven systems, expert coaches, and cutting-edge equipment help you dominate your sport. Can't make it in? Train anywhere with the TAP mobile app. Spots are filling fast, so don't wait. Visit tapwisconsin.com to schedule your free athletic assessment today.
This is ESPN Wisconsin and ESPNWisconsin.com.
Continuing on with Zimbrick Honda's PrepMania Weekly, I'm Hunter Vaughn. With me, the Dean of Area High School Sports, Dennis Sumrow. And in our previous segment, just looking back and really breaking down the Edgewood girls sectional this year. It's an interesting sectional than one that we think Edgewood should be able to get through, but a few schools in Elkhorn and Milton that could give them some trouble. So if you missed that segment, or if you missed any of our previous shows, head over to the ESPN Wisconsin app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can listen back to all of our previous shows as well as any of the games. If you missed the game or you have a family member who wanted to tune into that, they can still listen to the recording of any of our broadcasts that way, or just watch back on the ESPN Madison or Daily Dodge YouTube channels as well. As it's now time for our Pizza Hut Power Rankings here on Zimbrick Honda's PrepMania Weekly, and Zimbrick Honda has been a proud part of the Madison community since 1973. They're your one-stop shop for over 250 new Hondas to choose from. Whether you're looking for a sedan, SUV, or truck, their selection of new vehicles is second to none. Browse their car selection online at ZimbrickHonda.com. Shop local, shop Zimbrick Honda. We'll begin with the girls basketball power rankings this week for our Pizza Hut power rankings. Again, we power rank the schools from the Badger Large, the Badger Small, the Big 8, the Capital North, and the Capital South. First time checking in our Pizza Hut power rankings for the girls basketball side, Belleville getting in at number 10. At number 9, the Middleton Cardinals. The Silver Eagles of Monona Grove are number 8. Madison Memorial is number 7. The Milton Redhawks at number 6. The Verona Wildcats are 5. The Beaver Dam Golden Beavers at 4. Number 3 is the Lancers of Madison La Follette. And then number 2 is Wanakee being dethroned. And number 1, the Edgewood Crusaders.
Well, interesting, yeah. The 1 point between Edgewood and Wanakee, but actually, Beaver Dam and Verona are tied, both 33 points for fourth. So the one I got in there, I got Middleton. I had a chance to see them last week when they beat Sun Prairie West on Friday. That was after they'd beat Memorial during the week, and during that game, Brooke Michelotti scored her 1,000th point. And how do you like this for timing? They're up by 2. She goes to the line and makes 1 or 2 to give them a 3-point. Then Avery Blue trying to get the ball.
Yep.
And they got her pinned in the corner. She gets tripped. She goes to the line. She makes 1 of 2, and they get a rebound. Middleton wins 60-58.
Wow.
And that's a team that it's Richard's best team. Richard's Griffith's best team since he's been there. It's his 4th year. His first year, Audrey Deptula was his star, 1,000-point scorer. They swept Memorial, lost 6 in a row before that. So that was a big win for them the other night. So that's a team to keep an eye on. But you look at the girls there, La Follette and was it La Follette at 12-2, Verona 12-2, Memorial 11-3, Craig 9-4, Middleton 9-5. That's going to be some fun here the next couple of weeks down the stretch.
Yeah,
and we see the big one on Friday with Verona and Memorial at Verona girls.
I think there's a real chance, and we'll get to the boys' power ranking then here in a moment, but I think there's a real chance that the Big 8 for both boys and girls gets decided after we already have the tournament seedings. Because for those that don't know, they put those seedings out the week before, so there's usually a game or two that schools are going to have before their season is actually done. Like Memorial, we'll be talking to the head coach Steve Collins here. They wrap up their regular season against Middleton. There's a real chance that that is a conference championship game, and one of these teams could end up, there's a spot where in their sectional, they're the 2-3 seed, but the conference champion could end up being the 3 seed because of the way that it lines up with the standings. And it's a weird thing.
I don't like that. The fact that they can wait, just like coming out with your brackets way, 8 months early.
There's a lot of things that I think you and I could really get going about when it comes to basketball. And
they fixed some more stuff for football. They need to fix basketball.
Yep, there's just those little tweaks that they have to make. Now, switching over to the boys basketball side of things for our Pizza Hut power rankings. Again, Pizza Hut's Big New Yorker pizza is just $10 for a limited time. An extra large pizza with 6 huge foldable slices and bold New York style flavor. Big size, big value, just $10. Order the Pizza Hut app or at pizzahut.com. Pizza Hut, the official pizza of PrepMania.
No one out Pizza Hut. How about a side of wings with that, too?
Oh, that'd be delicious. I'm a big fan of wings. So pizza and wings, you've got me for a great.
What's your favorite sauce?
I like a classic buffalo.
Okay.
I'm simple like that.
Teriyaki or barbecue. I love teriyaki.
Okay. See, I didn't know that. I knew that you liked barbecue. Didn't know that you were a teriyaki guy. That's good to know.
Yeah, my wife makes a great stir fry with teriyaki. That's why.
Moving on to our boys' power rankings here on Zimbrick Honda's PrepMania Weekly. We begin with a team in the Big 8, Madison La Follette at number 10. Then at number 9, Lakeside Lutheran. They've been sitting around that bottom third of our power ranking here for a big chunk of the season. At number 8, taking a significant fall is Wanakee. Number 7, Sauk Prairie. McFarland at number 6. The number 5 team is Verona. Then Lake Mills at number 4. Beaver Dam at number 3. Middleton at number 2. And then Madison Memorial for back-to-back weeks, our number 1 team in our Pizza Hut power rankings. What are your thoughts on this one, Dennis?
Well, we got the big one tomorrow, Verona and Madison Memorial. Like I said, it goes back to early December 6th, when Verona took Memorial. That's a whole different team. I mean, 15 in a row. Still, Lake Mills is hanging. That's a team you just really love to watch them play. And La Follette, they lost a tough one this past week. They lost Verona by 3. So, again, that's going to come down to, you look at the standings, and Verona 10-1, Middleton 10-1, Memorial 10-1. Wow.
Yeah, it's, again, the Big 8 is going to come down to the wire, and then all of these teams, they're going to be playing each other in the postseason. I talked about this last week, and I feel like I've actually been saying it for a few weeks. We like to try to, with our postseason coverage here on Zimbrick Honda's presentation of PrepMania, is like kind of bounce around a little bit when it comes to the postseason. So like we won't do the same section, like we won't do the same teams from a regional and then take them through to the sectional round. But I'm just like, Dennis, I just want to cover this one sectional. It's going to be so good on the boys' side when you've got Memorial's really good, Middleton is really good, Verona's really good, La Follette's going to give teams a problem. Wanakee is in that sectional.
What was our favorite game last year?
I mean, it was that Memorial Sun Prairie East game.
In the regional final.
Yes. at Memorial. It was one of the best high school basketball environments I've ever been in.
Yes.
And that's including the quadruple overtime game that Steve and I were on the call for at the state semifinals 2 years ago. Like, we've been a part of some really great high school basketball games. Being there in that gym for that game was a classic.
We also have the side story because we're sitting right between Steve.
We won't say what he and Coach
and
Misselter said to each other during that game. That game got heated with both teams.
Feisty. I love it.
But
again, anytime we get to Memorial, and I think Coach Collins will agree, that's arguably the best atmosphere gym now in the state. Everything's now, like Verona's 2,500. New facilities for East and LaFolle, and they needed them, but when you went into that East gym at 800 and trying to squeeze us into a corner to do a broadcast, but the atmosphere, it was like in the field house where the sound just reverberated. You couldn't hear each other talking next to each other. Just the whole atmosphere, I love it.
Yeah, and I'm expecting a great atmosphere tomorrow night on Tuesday Night Hoops, where we will be at Memorial High School for Verona and Madison Memorial. It's going to be an awesome game. First place in the conference on the line. This is going to be one of those games that's going to really help separate and help us figure out who is going to take control of the Big 8 conference, because right now, again, it is a really tight race with Memorial, Middleton, and Verona at the top of that conference. So there's still a ton of basketball to be played within the Big 8.
Before we go away on the top 10, I got to throw out a shout out to McFarland. They've now won 15-16. They defeated Watertown, Reedsburg, and Aquinas last week. Anytime you can knock off Aquinas Private School, that was a big win for them. And that's a junior-heavy class. And they're like looking ahead to next year. Why not? Why now? Hey, right?
Yep. Exactly.
Don't wait till next year.
Yeah, it's that why not us sort of mentality for McFarland. They're playing really good basketball. I expect them to make a deep run as well into the postseason. I think we're going to see a number of Madison area teams making some deep runs, and potentially we get a couple of Madison area teams to the Kohl Center. It's going to be great basketball coming down the stretch this season. I'm super excited for it, just as excited as I am to talk to our guy, Steve Collins, here coming up next as we talk to the head coach of the Vel Phillips Memorial Spartans coming up next as they get ready for a huge matchup tomorrow night with Verona. That's coming up next here on Zimbrick Honda's PrepMania Weekly.
More of Zimbrick Honda's PrepMania Weekly coming up next on 100.5 ESPN, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and the ESPN Madison YouTube channel.
I wasn't sure if I could afford college, and my family couldn't help me. But I'm so glad I didn't let that stop me. At Madison College, I found financial support beyond tuition. Even fuel, transportation, and technology has been covered. It's incredible that I'll be able to graduate debt-free. My advice to others, don't let financial barriers stop you. There's more to your story at Madison College.
Visit madisoncollege.edu to get started.
When you or a loved one are faced with an unexpected injury or illness, Stoughton Health's urgent care is there for you. Stoughton Health has 4 convenient urgent care locations for the care you need without the wait. We have urgent care locations in Stoughton, Oregon, McFarland, and Cottage Grove with extended hours to fit your schedule. Stoughton Health accepts over 160 insurances, including Dean Health Plan, Quartz, Humana, and more. Please visit stoughtonhealth.com for more information. Stoughton Health, creating excellence together.
The team at Midwest Financial Group are values-based financial specialists that offer full-service financial solutions. This local independent firm has been dedicated to helping people achieve their financial, tax, and insurance goals for over 30 years. Visit mfgteam.com to learn more about how they can help set up your future for financial success. Advisory services offered through Commonwealth Financial Network, a registered investment advisor.
The pulse of the Milwaukee Bucks, straight from a Bucks legend.
Can't get it off. Marcus Johnson will, though. Can't leave him alone for a 12.
Tap into Here District with Marcus Johnson on Bucks Plus. Marcus and his son Chris offer a weekly beat on Bucks basketball. Get your questions answered and hear from the biggest names in basketball. Find Here District with Marcus Johnson at bucks.com/plus on the Bucks app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Zimbrick Honda has been a proud part of the Madison community since 1973, and they're your one-stop shop for over 250 new Hondas to choose from. Whether it's the sedan, SUV, or truck, their selection of new vehicles is second to none and has exactly what you're looking for. Stop in today at their location on Fish Hatchery Road and check out the all-new 2024 Honda Prologue, Honda's first all-electric SUV, or browse their selection online at ZimbrickHonda.com. That's ZimbrickHonda.com. Shop local. Shop Zimbrick Honda.
It's time for the Milwaukee Basketball Report on 100.5 ESPN.
Giannis going down the lane. Look out below. A big one-hand slam.
Brought to you by Michelob Ultra, the official beer of the Milwaukee Bucks.
The Bucks were routed in Boston, falling 107-79 to the Celtics during the inaugural NBA Pioneers Classic. The Bucks struggled offensively and dropped their 5th straight game, losing for the 8th time in their last 10 games. Ryan Rollins led the Bucks with 25 points, while Kyle Kuzma added 16 and Bobby Portis pulled down 12 rebounds. But the Bucks just couldn't keep pace and trailed by double digits most of the way. Here's head coach Doc Rivers after the game.
It's just hard to create shots. It's tough, like trying to get the ball movement and the spacing and getting guys time to get shots up. It's very difficult, and we're just going to keep working at it.
The Bucks return home from their East Coast road trip on Tuesday night to take on the Bulls at Pfizer Forum.
This has been your Milwaukee Basketball Report on Madison's home for Bucks basketball, 100.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Michelob Ultra.
In the next 30 seconds, I'm going to tell you how to save money and save the planet. It's simple. Ditch your energy bill and make the switch over to Everlight Solar. While electricity prices keep rising, Everlight Solar will give you the chance to take ownership of your power while also reducing your carbon footprint. As a local company based out of Madison, they'll be there with you every step of the way as you make the switch to solar. To learn more about how you can save money and save the planet, go to everlightsolar.com.
This is ESPN Wisconsin and ESPNWisconsin.com.
Continuing on with Zimbrick Honda's PrepMania Weekly, as it's now time for our Midwest Financial Group Coaches Profile. The lineup at Midwest Financial Group consists of coaches for your financial world. Organizing the players on your personal team. Behind every great team is a great coach. Let the Midwest Financial Group be yours for your financial planning needs. Head to mfgteam.com to get started today. Advisory services offered through Commonwealth Financial Network, a registered investment advisor. We're now joined by the 3-time state champion, 4-time state runner-up, and the head coach of the Vel Phillips Memorial Spartans, Steve Collins. Also, you have maybe heard him on some of our state championship broadcasts as well the last couple of years. Steve, thank you for taking the time and joining Dennis and I tonight.
Well, thanks for having me on. And I vote for ranch dressing. I like ranch and honey mustard for my wings.
That's good.
So,
okay. See, yeah. my wife is a big ranch person. We're going to get sidetracked right away. I knew this was going to happen with Steve. We're barely going to talk basketball tonight. But my wife, she and I love cheese curds, and she is like, it isn't the cheese curd itself. It's the ranch that makes the cheese curd. If it's bad ranch, it's a bad cheese curd.
Ooh, that's a good point. Yeah. There's not enough meat on wings either. That's part of my issue with wings, but anyway, that's a whole separate topic.
She goes, why wings? There's nothing there. Yeah.
I think it's that caveman thing when you have them on the bone and you just get to rip that meat off. Like, you don't get to do that with a whole lot of other food. So
yeah.
There you go.
Steve, let's get a little bit of basketball in here.
Okay.
I'm going to talk about you specifically here first. Congratulations on getting 500 career wins. I know that was something that just happened here at the beginning of the season for you. But could have happened a little bit sooner because you had that one game that you dropped here to Verona. But what did you learn and what did your team learn about that one loss now that you guys have had on the season being earlier to Verona?
It was so early that, we're not even the same team as we were in December, I'm hoping. We learned a lot. I think that was we actually, before practice today, kind of watched the pregame speech that I gave because one of my coaches had grabbed his camera after that and taped it. And, we basically said this is going to be a turning point right now. It's like, what are we going to do? And I think it was a great teachable moment for the boys at practice today. And, It will be great. And I agree. I think we have one of the best gyms for environment, especially at the largest school level. All these big schools are now kind of, big boxes.
Yeah, and they all kind of feel the same. So you guys get that unique feel to it. And it's fun getting to broadcast the games there and being there early enough when you see like the other school's varsity players come in there and you see some of the guys who like maybe haven't ever played there before or something like that. And they kind of look around like, oh, this is really different.
Right.
But, for this team right now, again, the only loss that you guys have is to Verona. You're playing such good basketball. How do you keep that momentum continuing to go? Like, do you look back on any of this? Like, how do you deal with that?
That's a great, my wife would say I don't deal with it very well. It kind of adds, the pressure adds. Every win kind of adds a little bit to it. And I've been pretty blessed to have been through this before. The boys haven't, but I have. So it's trying to keep as many routines and as many things as constant as possible is the key. We're not going to change anything that we've done up to this point tomorrow, other than probably play in front of a few more people.
Yeah, you mentioned the routines. I know, I've been covering you for a long time, and coming out of the pandemic, you had, I think, a team or two where you had to go through the little things like how do you report? Tuck in your jersey and the little things that you don't think about, but guys that hadn't been in that situation before, now you're back with a team. You've got 4 guys in double figures. Is this as comfortable a team as you've had that can do so much? I mean, we talked on the phone about what do you run at defense? We're doing everything. What do you do on offense? We're doing everything. You just seem very comfortable with this team.
Yeah, I mean, I think I almost got to go back to my 2017 team. 2017, 2018, my last state tournament team. They just, you're playing seniors and there's something to be said for playing seniors. And, post-COVID, it took a while. It takes a while sometimes to rebuild it. We didn't have a season, so I had to rebuild everything. I had to tell them how we get on the bus kind of thing. So everything, things that they passed down from the seniors to the juniors to the sophomores, I had to reteach them. And I think it's this is the first group that I think John Boyle, my former coach, early in my career said, sometimes you got to just get out of their way, Steve. Sometimes that's a good coach. You can overdo it and just kind of sometimes I got to get out of their way and just kind of let them be them.
What do you like about this team so far this year? Again, the 4 double figures. You got to like the balance that on any given night.
Yeah, we can score
20. Yeah.
Yeah, we can score. I like that they come to work every day. It's like there's nothing to be said for a team that kind of will listen, will take what you say and come to work. And I think, we beat a really, really, really good Middleton team pretty handedly because they executed the game plan well. So, that's what allows you to sleep at night is when they kind of do that, when they listen to you and they execute what you tell them to do.
You mentioned the success that you've had with some of your past teams and that. When it comes to a team like this now that's won all these games in a row and they're having this success, how do you have to like talk to them about how they handle success? Because like that's not something that you get like every single season for them. So is that a conversation that you have to like bring up here in like January of like, hey, you're going to have people in the hallway talking to you more now because you're playing really well?
I don't know. To be honest with you, I'm not even sure they know they're 16-1, to be honest with you. They're kind of those lunch pail kind of kids. Let's just go to work and play the game and get on the bus and go home and do it again. And we've had a few discussions about just kind of routines and kind of what to expect tomorrow. The gym's going to be really hot, so I'm going to warn the two of you that you should start hydrating right now because you're going to put 1,700 people in that gym tomorrow. It's going to be warm. I've started hydrating already too. So it's like just some of those basic things. But no, I mean, I've had groups where I've had to kind of squash it down, and this is not one of those groups. They're kind of workhorses.
We're joined by the head coach of Vel Phillips Memorial, Steve Collins, as they get ready for their Big 8 matchup against Verona coming up tomorrow night, a game that Dennis and I will be on the call for our Tuesday night hoops. When it comes to this Verona team, what are some things that you're telling your guys to watch out for on the floor? What does Verona do really well?
How much time do you have? They are probably one of the best rebounding teams I've seen in 5 to 10 years. They get a lot. I think they're effective. Their rebounding percentage is off the scale. So we're going to have to rebound. If we don't rebound, we're not going to win tomorrow. That's the first thing. They're really good at pressuring. They play like kind of the lock left defense where they're just going to try to lock you on the left side of the court, really kind of funnel you down to that baseline. So they do that really well, and we're going to have to know where their scores are, where's 4, where's, 5, where is 10, a couple of the best 3-point shooters in the league. So there's nothing they don't do well. They just do some things better than others. And, and to be honest, they're a pretty cohesive group. You always look for a little nick in the armor. I don't see it. I mean, they just, especially those starting 5 play really well together. And that's a sign of a good team.
Yeah, we had their game with Middleton right down to the end. Like you said, they got the shooters. You've been doing this for a long time, and we've talked about things you like to see. And right now, one of the things the Coaches Association is trying to do is expand the tournament. What are your thoughts about that expanded, more teams getting to the state tournament? I think 5 divisions of 8.
Done. Next. That's it. Yep. Easy. No, I mean, more kids getting the opportunity to play at the highest level. Why wouldn't you want that? So, yes. I mean, and it's changed. It's changed since, Dennis, you started following us. It was a big deal to wake up after you won the Thursday night game and to grab the paper and, read it. And you had to watch it on one channel, and that was the only time, and everyone rolled the TVs into their classrooms. And, the world's changed a little bit. So I think we have to change with it, give kind of more opportunities, more, maybe 2 venues, things like that. Because, kids are watching it on their phones now. They're watching they're watching March Madness on their phones, not on a TV necessarily. So as the old farts in the room, we probably got to change with the landscape a little bit.
Well, I was going to save this a little bit, but since we're on the topic of changing for basketball,
I set you up for this.
So Dennis getting into the Hall of Fame now, something that you're in as well. Yes, long overdue, but yes, Dennis.
Long overdue. I told that.
But my next challenge here now is I want to make Dennis the czar of basketball in the state, because the first rule that he would implement is adding a shot clock, and I want to know your thoughts on that.
That's a great question. So I am neutral on it, which I'm not neutral on many things in life. If you know me very long, I tend to have an opinion. I think it's coming, and I think it's eventually going to happen. I think what's unique about high school basketball is I can decide to play slow, you can decide to play fast. I can decide to play zone, you can decide to play man. When we make everything the same and everyone has to play under the same kind of vanilla, there's a reason. That's my only question about it is I think high school is the only pure thing left so far until the NIL trickles down to it. College is almost pro now. So it's just a unique game, and I think that's what makes it a little bit more of a chess match. The shot clock comes and people are going to start full court pressing, try and take 7-8 seconds off, try to get it down to the mid-20s. Then you got to play defense for 10 seconds, blah, blah, blah. I think it's just going to become more vanilla. And I think what's unique about high school basketball, at least in our state right now, is it's not.
Do you think that, because I've seen now on social media, there was the Appleton North Kaukauna game, and Appleton North held the ball. I believe it was for close to 2 minutes towards the end of that game, and then they got the win. Yeah, and I just know, the things I've seen on social media is outside of the state of Wisconsin, people very bothered by that because they're like, oh, they're playing scared basketball. They're not playing like.
No, they're not playing scared basketball. They're playing smart basketball. They're shortening the game, and Kaukauna can come out and do something. If you do that to me, I'm going to counter you. I'm going to trap you. I'm going to zone you. I'm going to do something to try to let you not do that. So me standing at half court holding the ball is 1 out of 100,000 games probably, because I'm not going to let you stand at half court and hold the ball. I'm going to do something to counter it. So, yeah, I mean, that's what happens this time of year. You're going to see the anti-shot clock because you're going to see one game in Tennessee where someone holds it and it's 7-3.
Yeah,
that doesn't happen very often. The stats teacher tells you there's tens of thousands of games, and that doesn't happen very often. It happens once in a while.
I love it when stat teacher Steve comes out.
Well, the other thing too is that teams are playing so fast now. The Badgers that they don't need 30 seconds for the most part.
No, you've seen my teams play. We would have 3 shot clock violations in like the last 25 years. It's not, but if we're up 7 with 2.5 minutes to go, I might want to shoot some free throws. Come defend me. Yep. And if you don't, and if you do, and you can stop me and turn me over, then you might beat me. If you don't, I'm going to shoot layups and free throws. So,
and I do think there's a level of it doesn't have to be a 30-second shot clock. You could do a 45-second, and then you still give the kids the teams the opportunity to be able to kind of slow things down. But then there's still that level of okay, we at least got to put the ball up near the rim here.
I think the most common in the high school game right now is 35. I think that's the most common universally. I'd be fine. And anything less than that's too small, I think. 35, I'd be okay with a 35. 40 would be better, I think. But,
I was talking to Alex Compton about that, former West player, and it was the same thing. He thinks, okay, but it's got to be longer. It can't be a 30. He thought 35 to 40 range, that you can still have time to work. And if teams try to take 7-8 seconds off, you've still got time to run plays.
Now, Steve, one last thing for you before we have to let you go. Anything else that you want to, since we're on to how to improve basketball, anything else you think that we need here in the state of Wisconsin for the sport?
Yeah, we should get rid of the jump ball. That's my goal when I retire. I want to get rid of the jump ball. We don't need a jump ball anymore. Visiting teams should get it to start and then alternating possession. So we had a quadruple overtime against Milwaukee Lutheran. Crazy, one of the craziest games I've ever coached in our gym. We went 102 to 100 this year. And every possession from regulation to overtime was a thing. But the officials had to throw the ball up 5 times. They're not very good at it because they don't do it very often. Mm-hmm. It's not a knock on the officials. It's like they do it once a game. So visiting team should get it. So when the basketball czar over here gets a hold of basketball, that's what we need to get rid of the jump ball.
Okay, remember that.
Alternating possession.
I agree.
Visiting team starts with the ball.
See, I'm gonna be honest.
So I can strategize because I know you're going to start with the ball. I can strategize. Okay, I'm going to do something to you right at the beginning, or I'm not. I don't know. Yeah.
I like that. See, I feel like I learn something new every time that I have you on, whether it's the state games or something else. And I'm proud of myself. I didn't even ask you for a Vanderblue or a Wes Matthews stories. This might be the first time ever that I've talked to you and not asked you for one. So I'm growing.
I have a Jalen Johnson. I drove Jalen Johnson to AAU practice. That's my claim to fame. I'm pretty proud of him becoming an all-star for the Hawks. So he was a pretty special kid. Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's so cool to get to see all these Wisconsin kids doing well.
How about Con Knipple? We were calling the games 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Now he's better than Flagus right
now.
Yeah.
They're going neck and neck.
And Wisconsin Lutheran, that should not be legal to have a family like that. They got 3 of them on their team. It's like, wow.
Can we performance factor families somehow?
Right.
You can't go
Where are we going to move? Where are we going to move Wisconsin Lutheran?
Yeah,
we're going to move them up a division? Because I don't know.
Which that was a whole nother conversation we didn't get to on the show. The fact that they and West Dallas Central are in the same sectional is insane to me.
Yes.
But that could be a whole nother show of us.
That could be a
about
whole
the way
nother show.
sectionals.
Yes. Yeah.
So we're going to let you go. Good luck
Thank
tomorrow
you.
night. We're super excited to see you, and you guys play Verona, and good luck.
Yes.
Thanks for joining us.
Make sure you hydrate.
Yes, absolutely.
Thanks, Coach.
You guys.
Thank you, Steve.
All right.
That was the head coach of Vel Phillips Memorial, Steve Collins. Love talking to Steve.
Yeah, he's the dean of coaches in this area. He's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah,
and yeah, it's what I find interesting is if you're going on X or whatever, he has these messages. It's all about the game or about making yourself better.
Teach hoops on Twitter.
Teaching the game.
Yep.
And I always thought that your best coaches are teachers first. He's in the classroom, so he sees his kids and he teaches the game better than I think anybody. So.
Absolutely.
And when he steps down, it's going to be a big loss for this community.
Yep.
Because I know it's you only have so much time, but it's always been a pleasure watching the games. But I love it when he goes over to the student section beforehand and talks to the kids. I can't wait to see what it's going to be tomorrow. If it's a beach day or a whiteout or
I'm gonna make a point. Our team, for those that maybe don't know or are new to our PrepMania coverage here at ESPN Madison, we have our marketing team that's also there, and they get some videos. So if you check out our Instagram stories tomorrow night leading into the game, we'll have the student sections and things. I'm gonna try and make sure that they are over there to get a little bit of that interaction. Steve always goes over to talk to the student section before the games, and it's always a cool interaction to see that. We've got to get another break in here, Dennis, and then we will have our PrepMania on deck to wrap up the show, as this is Zimbrick Honda's PrepMania Weekly.
You're listening to Zimbrick Honda's PrepMania Weekly, breaking down more from this week in area high school sports next on 100.5 ESPN, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and the ESPN Madison YouTube channel.
Looking to take your baseball game to the next level? GRB Academy provides year-round training programs designed around your schedule and your goals. For over 15 years, GRB has been Wisconsin's leader in player development and advancement, with a state-of-the-art 52,000 square foot facility of elite baseball training space and coaches who know how to get results. From youth to high school, baseball players trust GRB to help them reach their next level. Training program spots are filling quickly, so don't wait. Register now at grbacademy.com.
Mark Tauscher here for Pizza Hut. You know, I've loved Pizza Hut since I was a kid, and now I love making new memories enjoying it with my family today. For a limited time, Pizza Hut's Big New Yorker Pizza is just $10. An extra large pizza with 6 huge foldable slices and bold New York style flavor. Big size, big value, and just $10. Order right now on the Pizza Hut app or at pizzahut.com. Pizza Hut, feed good times. For a limited time, order a Big New Yorker Pizza for just $10. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
At Hooper Service, your comfort is important. From keeping you cozy warm to comfy cool with the ultra-quiet, energy-efficient Carrier Infinity Home Comfort System. Plus, join our Home Comfort Priority Plan and keep your air conditioner and furnace running at peak performance year after year. Enjoy priority service and extra savings that really add up. Hooper is here with 24-hour heating, cooling, plumbing, and fire protection service for your home and business. Turn to the experts, Carrier and Hooper.
Condon Jewelers, the jeweler on the east side, the jeweler on your side. When you see Diamond Jim, you can count on him to be on your side. Selection beyond compare with on-site repair, so you can wear your jewelry with pride. Condon Jewelers, the jeweler on the east side, the jeweler on your side.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ethos.com/game. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest, the last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying, just beautiful
Millions of finds, each with a story. eBay. Things people love.
Doug Brown is Assistant Executive Director of the Dane County Humane Society. Doug, your organization has business technology from James Imaging Systems. Today, we'd like to hear about your mission.
At Dane County Humane Society, we believe that everybody deserves the unconditional love that a companion animal can bring into their lives. We take pride in working with our community to help people help animals.
How so?
We are proud to offer services for adoptions. We're proud to help lost animals find their way home. We're proud to be able to take care of the injured and orphaned wildlife of the community.
How can others lend a hand to help the Dane County Humane Society?
I'd encourage anybody who is interested in helping to visit our website where they can learn more about the organization, including ways to volunteer, to donate, to participate in a special event.
And the Dane County Humane Society's website is?
GiveShelter.org.
One more time.
GiveShelter.org.
James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner.
This is ESPN Wisconsin and ESPNWisconsin.com.
Wrapping up Zimbrick Honda's PrepMania Weekly. Thank you again to the head coach of Val Phillips Memorial, Steve Collins, for joining us. Dennis and I could have talked with him the entire night if we were allowed to. So, again, thank you. You don't want to miss that conversation. If you missed any of it, you can listen back to it on the ESPN Wisconsin app or wherever you get your podcasts, or you can watch it back on the Daily Dodge YouTube channel or right here on the ESPN Madison YouTube channel. It's now time for our final segment of the show, our PrepMania on deck. So we've got some big games coming up this week. Tuesday night hoops again, Verona and Memorial, boys basketball. Dennis and I will be on the call for that one. Then Dennis and I run it back on Friday for the girls' side of that game. It'll be Memorial at Verona on Friday. Again, another big game in the Big Eight. So it's the Verona Memorial Week here on ESPN Madison. But then some other games or events that we're looking out for. Dennis, there's a big rivalry game over in Lake Mills for boys basketball.
Yeah, the rematch. Lake Mills beat Lakeside back on, was it January 9th? It was a 66-39 game. But here's the rematch now at Lake Mills, and I think Lakeside's ready to get a little bit of revenge. And then now this weekend is conference wrestling. Madison West is hosting the Big 8 meet, and I will be over in Fort Atkinson for the Badger, and it's large and small together. Huge meet, and I'll be there to cover Mount Horeb and Barneveld, who's got a couple of great studs, and Sauk Prairie. So look forward to that.
And then mine, conference swimming, the boys conference swimming for the Big 8. That is going to be at Middleton on Saturday. Friday night is diving. Saturday afternoon is the conference meet for the Big 8 for swimming. This has been Zimbrick Honda's PrepMania Weekly. Zimbrick Honda has been a proud part of the Madison community since 1973. They're your one-stop shop for over 250 new Hondas to choose from. Whether you're looking for a sedan, SUV, or truck, their selection of new vehicles is second to none. Browse their car selection online at ZimbrickHonda.com. Shop local, shop Zimbrick Honda. Thank you again to Steve Collins for joining the show. Thank you to the Dean and Hall of Famer, Dennis Sumrow, and, of course, our producer, Owen Dimfel. I'm Hunter Vaughn. This has been Zimbrick Honda's PrepMania Weekly. Again, don't forget Tuesday night hoops, Verona Memorial, tomorrow night.
I worried that I couldn't work a full-time job and still have time for college. But I'm so glad I didn't let that stop me. At Madison College, I found my stride. My classes are flexible and hands-on, and I walk on campus feeling inspired. My advice to